Yeah, folks, and continue. See here. Okay. So as of now, we got to know about. So far, we discussed as per last classes. We are creating about a final variable, which is called final instance variable. If you declare any variable as final, and I told you that you can initialize the variable. Mostly, we'll do it within constructor, or even at the time of creating the variable, also you can do initialization, right? That's one more thing. And the other thing is like you can also do one thing that you can able to uh, what I can say, you can able to define a getter method, but you can't able to define a setter method, right? If it is a final variable, then you can't expect setter method. If you write setter method, you will get an error. You can only create what getter method, but you can't create a setter method. And for balance, it's okay because balance is not a final variable, so we can able to define setter and getter methods too. Both we can able to define. Am I right? So let's we'll go ahead and see uh, like how uh, we can discuss about the static final variables, right? So uh, as we know earlier, what we know earlier is that um, if you create any variable as a static variable, right? If you create any variable as a static variable, and static variable doesn't belongs to are not associated with the instance of a class. It is class level. We know that, right? It is called class level variable. Basically, it is and the state of the variable belongs to the class, nothing but belongs to all objects of the class. It is not specific to any particular object. We know this point, right, guys? Could you able to hear me now? Yeah, could you able to hear me? Yes. Yes, right?
Sir.
Okay. So we know that concept already, static variable. Static, any method, if you take a static method or static variable, they are associated with the corresponding class, or they are associated with the class, but not with a particular any instance of the class. Okay. If you take any static variable also, what static variable uh, is not belongs to any instance of the class. Okay, it is directly associated with the class. It is not representing the state of any object. It is representing the state for all objects of the class, but not particularly to any particular instance of the class. That's what the meaning of static variable. Now we can declare a static variable as a final variable. If you declare any static variable as a final variable, the question is like, when should I create a static variable as a final variable? I know static variable. Where I know about static variable is what I know about static variable. If I create a static variable, then it is associated with a class, not associated with any particular instance. Okay. But one thing is what, through any instance, I can able to modify it, right? Through any instance, I can able to modify the static variable. Let's take an example to understand this point. Okay, I will continue here itself by putting today's date so that all the final will be there in one document. Okay. Let's say, guys, it's our 17. Okay. Guys, you know what I'm trying to say is no. Let's say I have an example like this. Let's say, okay. Let's say, for example, I'm writing like this. Today I'm starting with an example. Let's say I have a class. This class is something like I'm just writing minutes to years. It's a class I have. Okay. Let's say I have a class like this. Let's say minutes to years, right? I have a class. So here we go. Suppose I'm creating a variable like, private. Let's say static. Okay. I'm just creating variable like this now, private, and I'm declaring it as static. Mostly private variables we can directly even access with the class name also. That's why whenever we are creating any variable as a static variable, generally in some cases we declare it as a private variable, but mostly we used to write the static variables as public variables only. Because to access that variable, we no need of creating any instance of the class, right? Without creating an instance also, we can able to access that variable because it's a static variable, correct? If you want to make that variable to be accessible only with instance, even though it is a static variable, then you can make it as a private variable. I hope you guys are catching my point, right?
Yes.
What I'm just saying is, most of the times we use static variables as public. Okay, so that what without creating an instance of the class also, we can able to access that variable. We can able to, set the value to the variable. We can able to change the value of the variable, state of the variable. We can able to access the state of the variable. Am I right? So if I use private, then outside the class, I can't able to access it with the class name, but I can able to access it through the what we can call the setter getter methods defined for the variable, or by creating any such by accessing or calling a method, with an object. So object is mandatory. Suppose if you declare as a private variable, if you define any public method which can do the changes to the static variable, then you can directly access it with the class name. But if you have an instance method, then you cannot access it through the class name. So you must create an object. Okay. We have private static variables and public static variables. So you have to understand about when to create the private static variable and when to create the public static variable, right? The only thing is what, suppose if you want to make the static variable to be accessible with the class name at outside, then make it as public, right? Directly, if you want to make a variable as accessible at outside of the class also, then you can make it as a public, right? So public static, let's say for example, int. Okay. Let's say for example, I'm writing like this now, num of days per year equal to 365. I can directly assign the value also equal to 365. For example, guys, num of days per year 365. Am I clear with this example? Am I clear with this so far? Whatever I have explained, okay. And there are some other logics, and I'm not talking about the other methods and constructor or whatever it is. Other methods are there. Other variables and methods are there. This is my class.
Okay, sir. Understood.
Yeah. Thank you. Now, guys, what I'm trying to say is now. Hope you guys got it right. So public static int num of days per year equal to 365. Okay. So this is cool. Okay, this is cool. We agree with this. Am I clear? Num of days per year equal to 365. So now this is a static variable, right? Now question comes is, can we able to change the value of it? I would like to make it as num of days per year equal to 370.
No.
Yes, sir, we can change.
By putting
Can we?
setter getters.
No, I mean, I just made my variable as a public variable, right?
Okay, okay.
You think
We
just think
can.
this is a public variable. So public variable is accessible directly at outside. We can able to access it. Why can't we access it? We can able to access the variable. So can I able to modify the value of this variable? Num of days per year equal to 370.
Yes.
Yes.
Static variables
Yes,
are fixed. No?
static variable we can change it.
Sorry, static variable we can change, na?
Yes, sir.
Yes, we can. Correct answer. Yes, we can. Why can't we change? Just it's a static variable, which means that it is associated with the class, not with any specific instance of the class. That's what the static, right? And
Yes.
you could able to access it through the instance also. And if through any instance of the class, if you change the value, that will reflect to the other instances of the class also, because it is a shared memory, which is called static memory.
Yes.
Basically, these things we know about static variable already, but we can able to change the value of it. Guys, we can able to change the value of it, right? No doubt at all. We can able to change the value of it. 365, we can make it as 375 also. But practically, it is not correct. Okay. Practically, it is not correct. Number of days per year, we can't say 375.
Yes.
So now the question comes here is, how can I make it as fixed value? It's a static
By
variable. I would
using
like to share
final.
this. Yeah, that's where we need to go for final variable. So what is the correct what is the correct way of declaring this variable is I should make it as a final variable. I have to declare this variable as final. Am I clear with you? So what I'm going to write, guys? What I'm going to write, public static final int. And one more thing is, whenever you declare any variable as a static and final variable in Java, the notation is, the naming convention is going to keep that variable in uppercase letter. The variables in uppercase letter indicate that they are class level variables and they are fixed variables. Nothing but they are static and final variables. If you declare any variable as a static and final, generally the Java naming convention is we are going to write that variable in uppercase. That identifier we are going to write in uppercase letters. So what I want to write here, num of days per year, I want to write in uppercase. Am I clear with you? Num of days per year means number of days per year equal to 365. Hope I'm clear with this example, right? This is called static final. In this case, we are going to create static final variable. Let's go ahead. I would like to write the point here. Okay, right. So we know that what static variables represent the state for all instances of the class, not to any specific instance of a class. Instance variables means they represent the state of a particular instance. State means, I mean, data, right? So you know that object has a state and behavior. So, but the static variable represent the state, which is represents the state which is commonly applicable for all instances of the class, not to any specific instance. That's what the static variable. But we can able to change the value of it. If through one instance, if you modify the value of a static variable, it will reflect to the other instances also, right? It is a static variable, but our intention is we do not want to allow any instance or even directly through class also. We don't want to allow to modify the value, the state of the static variable. Then we should declare it as a static final variable. That's what my point. Just I'm conveying it with some words. That's it. Okay, let me write those things. So if you want to declare what I can say, if you want to share, but if you want to share the state of a variable across all instances of a class, do you know what to do? If you want to share the state of a variable across all instances of a class, then what we use, guys? If you want to share the state of a variable across all instances of a class, then we have to, declare that variable as a final variable, static variable. We have to declare that variable as a static variable. So am I clear with you? If you want to share the state of a variable across all instances of a class, then we have to declare that variable as a static variable. So here is the next concept comes in, the question comes in. Okay. If, if the state of a static variable is modified with one instance, then it reflects to the other instances also. Did you get my point? If the state of a static variable is modified with one instance, then it reflects to the other instances also. Am I clear with you? Now,
Yes,
what
sir.
is, yeah, correct. So what's our requirement? Our requirement is we want to make it as a class level constant. You know, object level constant yesterday. So basically, if you create a non-static variable as a final variable, means instance variable as a final variable, it is object level constant variable. I told you final variables are used for constant declarations in Java. If you want to declare a class level constant, then you should go for what? Static and final, obviously. That's what I'm trying to say. So if you want to create a class level constant, so that the instances of a class, or the class itself cannot modify, then what you have to do, then you have to declare
final.
Yeah, declare that static variable as a final variable too. Declare that static variable as a final variable also. So did you understand the two things now? So this is called static and final. So I have explained so far two things, guys. One is I have explained about what final instance variables. Then I declared about I have explained about final static variables. We can make the static variable as a final variable. We can also make the instance variable as a final variable. Now we are into which method now, guys?
Instance.
Now we are into instance method. Am I clear with you? Let's go ahead and understand about what is instance method. We want to make instance method as a final method, which is nothing but final instance method. Nothing but final method. That's what, right? Okay. When should we create a final method? So whatever we have discussed here, this is called.
We cannot override.
Yes. If I want to disallow, or if I don't want to allow, I don't want to allow to redefine a method. That's better word, right? If I don't want to allow redefining a method of my class in any other subclasses, then I should declare my method as which method? Obviously, final method. Do you agree with me? So let's say, for example, guys, everybody, let's see another example. See here, for example, okay, I'll launch it. I'll show you. If you create any method as a final method, then what? Child classes cannot override. Okay, child classes cannot override. Let's say, okay. I told earlier final methods can be overloaded, but final methods cannot be overridden. We can't override the final method, right? Let's say, for example, I'm just creating a new Java project. Oh my God. Yeah, it's Java project. And here I just want to write the project name as final program, something, final keyword. And let's click on finish. So yeah, here we are, final keyword. And here I just want to delete this module-info.java. Okay. And I just want to go with src and then say new, then I say, I like to say class, and some package name will enter. So com.ashokait.oop. And here I just wanted the class name, something test is my class name. Test enough, tester is my class name otherwise. Let's go with public static void main. Let's click on finish. Okay. So we are here. we are into this public class tester. So above this, I just wanted two classes. As you are aware, class, let's write class A, our base class. And I want to create a method as final. Could be, okay, I'm just taking an example. Okay, final void M1. I'll change my names M1 to some other, but I'll tell you. Okay, final void M1. Just I'll go to class B, which is a child class of class A, right? Class B extends class A. I'm trying to override this method, so I can use @override and void M1. So what's the reason behind getting this error at line number 10?
Yeah. Final.
The
we
final
can
method.
declare.
Is it because of the final or because of any other reason?
Yeah. Reason. I think override will be depend on the runtime polymorphism, because this is a depend on JVM. Okay.
Mhm.
So that's why I think, and
Okay.
that is compile time. We will do it.
Mhm. Okay. Okay. No. My question is, I mean, what question I'm trying to ask you is, do you know why it is? Do you
Final
know why
method we
it
can't
is?
override.
Okay. I mean, I have a question because of any access modifier related error, because what is there in base class and what is there in child class? Do you think any error because of? Do you think this error is because of any access modifier related issue?
No,
Yes,
no,
access modifier is also not there, both in
not.
there. But
Because-
final we can't override, no sir.
Yeah, yes. Basically, if you look at the first one, what is the access modifier of this line
Default.
at line 4 M1? Default.
Default.
And at line number 10 is also what?
Default.
Default.
And default. So as you know that while overriding method, you can maintain the same accessibility level, or even also maintain a higher accessibility level, but you can't maintain the lower accessibility level, right? But
Yes.
what I'm maintaining here, what this method in child class is maintaining,
Same. Default.
same accessibility level. So that's okay. Default is okay. This is not an error because of that one. And it is not an error because of any return type issue or method name issue or any parameters issue. So what's the issue here?
So
The issue is like here it is a final method. Am I right? It's a final method. So final methods we cannot override.
Override.
Overriding is nothing but redefining, right? There is some definition already here, and you would like to redefine the definition again here. So, will it allow that? Can we redefine a final method now?
No.
No. So when we should declare this method as a final method? Because when you don't want to allow a method to be redefined in the child classes, or you don't want to allow the child classes of a class to redefine a particular method, then you should declare that method as what method? Final method. Let's take an example to understand it, but currently I'm taking with M1. Let's again, I have a question here. Just I want to write static, remove the final, static. And even I'm not using a keyword called override also, because static methods, as you know that we cannot override. So I'm removing override keyword, annotation. But if I remove the override annotation, looking like it's overriding. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. It's looking like what overriding. I think other folks, maybe you're listening and I feel you're understanding, but I'm not getting a response from your end. Feel that okay. I mean, if you have any question, maybe you're going to write something in, you can ask me or you can write in chat. Otherwise, I feel that you're also getting my session. Okay. Now, this is my, the concept name is not called overriding, because if I write override annotation, definitely I'm going to get error. I told this concept is called method hiding.
Yes,
The
sir.
static method in child class will hide the definition of the static method in parent class, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. This is a special case called method hiding. Yeah, good to know. Good to know. Yes, I agree. Let's go ahead. I want to make this as final. So I can add static final or a final static, no issue. I mean, these non-access modifiers, we can able to, we can able to change it. We can able to change like this. But now this time you look at line number 10 and check, see what's happening there at line number 10. Did you get my point?
Yes.
Everybody, did you get my point? Final
Final,
static
we
variable.
can't inherit.
No. Actually, static methods we can't override, that I told you, but its concept name is called method hiding.
Yes, sir.
Yes, it's a method hiding. Okay, I remove this final here. Tell me still what is there at line number 10?
Error.
Final can't write again.
In line number 10, okay, I removed final. Could you tell me what is there in line number 10?
Static.
Are you getting an error at line number 10? Did you see the error?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Is that red mark is visible to you?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
Yes, correct. So if I remove the final here, will I get this error? Will I get this error at line number 10?
No.
No.
No, definitely no. That concept name is called what?
Method hiding.
Method hiding.
Method
It is
hiding.
looking like method overriding, but actually it's method hiding. Am I clear?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Sir,
So-
only static keyword will be used. Method hiding. Have any other key available for hiding purpose
Private.
will be used, just like a for private anything.
No. Anyhow, private methods we cannot. They are not visible to the child class, right?
Yes, sir.
So I mean, private is not called actually method hiding. Okay. We call it as method hiding. Suppose it's the same method if you are creating in child class, but it is hiding the definition available in the parent class, then we call it as method hiding.
Yes. Oh.
Okay. So generally people say private methods are also method hiding, but I didn't agree with that. I don't want to agree with that.
Oh.
Okay. Only static.
Oh.
Okay. Cool, guys. Please understand me. Okay. So if I declare this as a final, then I'm getting error even though I'm doing method hiding. So the thing is what now? Guys? When we create a static final methods, what is the concept of static final? When we create actual static methods,
Method we can hiding.
If we want to reuse the same variable, then we will be creating
I'm
static.
talking about method. Generally, when do we create static methods?
We can hide the method, and we can use.
It is not for hiding.
compile
I'm
time.
not talking. No, sorry. I'm sorry. I'm not talking about overriding, hiding. Not like that. Generally, when do we create a static method in a class? I
We
can
can
also
access-
create an instance method, right? I can
Yeah,
also
we
create
can
an
access
instance
through
method. Then why should I
class
go for
level.
static method? Sorry.
We can access the method through class.
That's okay. We can access it. I also agree, but essence is missing. That's what I'm trying to get from you.
Yes.
When do you create a static method? You can also create a non-static method, no? Why should I go for static method? I can also create a non-static method. That's also correct. That's also fine. Then why should I go for creating a static method? This is my question, a strong question. Could you tell me
Yes.
some reply for it?
Compile time we can access it.
Yes. Any guess from your end, guys? Maybe anybody. Could be Nitish, could be Sushmita, Dan, Lakshmi, Sandhya, Suresh, Suja, Uma, anybody, Satakshi.
For reuse again.
No. Generally, when do you create a static method is my question. See, can we create non-static methods?
Yes.
Similarly, can we create static methods also?
Yes.
Yes.
Question is, when do you create static method?
Suppose we can share the variable.
Without creating an object, we call the method.
Okay,
That
that is
time-
okay. That is a static method. So we can just make a call to that method without creating an object also. That's okay. But generally, when do we create static methods in a class?
When we want to shareable memory.
Sir,
Shareable memory
have-
means that is method. Its methods memory is not concept of shareability, right? Method doesn't have a specific memory. Variable has a memory.
Yes.
Variables have a memory, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So basic thing is, see, when you want to create some helper method or utility method, we call it. Utility is a word. I think I use this
Means
word already.
we cannot override, sir.
We cannot.
Override.
No, I'm not.
method.
As I said already, if you
Yes.
override a method of a static method of the parent class in child class, it is not called method overriding. It is called method hiding.
Yes.
Yes, yes. Please listen. Okay. Again, I'm repeating. You know this point already, guys. When you want to create some utility method or a helper method, we can say. Okay. When you want to create a helper method in a class or utility method in a class, which doesn't depend on the state of any object. State means values. So then you are going to create a static method.
Yes, sir.
Correct?
Yes.
So when you want to create some utility method, for example, suppose, see, I have some class called as, let's say, file operations. One class is there. File operations is one class. Let me write because if I explain orally, maybe it may reach or not, but let me write. Guys, observe it. Guys, look at this. Let's say I have a class called file operations. Inside this, I want to create a method called open file. Okay, parameters, file name is a parameter. I'm not writing syntax. I'm explaining the concept. File name is a parameter. File path is a parameter. Based on this file path and file name, it should open the file. I have a question to you. Guys, this opening a file open, please try to get concept now. Will it depend on any state of any object of
No.
this class called file operation? State means data of any object.
No.
Okay, please, everybody, try to tell me some answer out of it. I have a method something like this, open file. I'm not any complete class and complete logic, but just I'm explaining about it. Will it depend on any state of object, a state of any object?
No.
No. Opening a file is a common operation, right? Whether you have object 1, object 2, object 3, object 4 for this class. Okay, file operations class have 4 objects, F1, F2, F3, F4. Maybe F1 wants to remove the data and F2, another object wants to, update the data, and other wants to add the new data, and other one wants to read the data. So did you get my point? There are 4 objects, F1, 2, 3, 4. But my question is, what about this open file? Will it depend on the state of any object?
No.
No, right? No, right? It doesn't depend on state of any object, right? It is a utility method, right? It could be for first object or second or third or fourth. If it want to perform like a read operation or update operation or delete operation, whatever it is, first of all, it must open the file. Am I right?
Yes.
Correct. And suppose similarly, I have a method called close file. I have a more method called close file. Okay. And just provide the file name, so it will close it. There is one more method. Could you tell me this open file and close file methods will depend on any particular object, particular
No.
instance,
No.
state of any object?
No.
No.
No, definitely no. So can I make these methods as static now? Can I call them as helper methods for all the objects?
Yes.
Yes, I have four objects, F1, F2, F3, and F4, where they want to do some different operations. Let's say CRUD operations or CRUD operations. I mean, creating new data, updating existing data, deleting some data, or retrieving data, something like that. But these are going to be utility methods for all objects of the class, am I right or not? So then we can create these methods as what? Can I make this method a static method? Could you tell me answer? Could you tell me answer? Can I make this method a static method? Do you agree?
No.
Can I make this method a static? Can I make this method a static? Could you tell me? Definitely. Answer is yes. Am I audible, guys?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir, audible.
Yes, obviously. So see, because these are not these are the utility methods which are required for all objects of the class, right? These are the utility methods or helper methods, and they do not depend on the state of any object. Am I clear with you? So then we are going to create what? These methods as what methods?
Static method.
Static methods. Do you agree with when do you create a static method?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Now we'll come back. Guys, our requirement is what we are trying to see. We are trying to see that we have a static method. Let's say, for example, we have a static method. Anyhow, static methods we cannot override, am I right?
Yes.
Even final methods also we cannot override.
Yeah.
This clarity is very important, okay? Because you will get this kind of questions in an interview. Because the interviewer wants to see how strong you are at core level. Okay. So anyhow, static methods we cannot override. Final methods also we cannot override. Then why we should make a method as static and final?
Yeah, a static method is a method hiding.
Yeah,
And,
static method we cannot override, but still we can do method hiding, correct?
Yes.
But if I declare it as a final,
It means we can constant.
if I declare it as a static and final, can you hide the method in child class? Can you create a same static method in child class and can you apply the
No.
concept
No.
of method hiding?
No.
You are getting error at line number 10, right?
Yes.
Yes.
So now did you agree why we are writing a method as a static and final? Anyhow, static methods we cannot override and final methods also we cannot override. Then why we are making the method static and final both? The reason is even we do not want to allow to hide this method in child class. Did you agree with me? Okay. In child class, I do not want to allow to hide this method. I do not want to allow method hiding. Then I should declare it as a final. So this is the very important and crucial point in understanding it. Okay. Please try to catch. That's why I'm getting error at line number 10. Okay, now?
Okay, sir.
Cool. Let's go ahead because
Once
I have
again
experiment.
repeat. Hello.
Sorry.
Yeah, once again repeat.
You want me to repeat once again? Sure.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Sure. See here, what I'm trying to say is no. Okay, I'm just getting to the code back. What I'm saying here, do you got error at line number 10? Could you give me a reply, Sandhya?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay. Yes. Error. Do you know why this error came? Do you know why this error came at line number 10? Could you tell me why this error?
Method can be override.
We are not overriding because anyhow it's a static method. We cannot override. Definitely.
Yes, sir.
But we can hide. We can hide the static method definition of the parent class in child class by creating the same static method again, right?
Yes, sir.
This is called method hiding. But even I don't want to allow method hiding also. Means I don't want to allow the child class to define the same static method which is hiding the definition of the parent class.
Yes.
I don't want to allow. Could you tell me then what should I do?
Final.
Yeah.
I should
we are
declare it as
using
what? Final.
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 Final. If I create as a final, then this class B can hide the definition of this static method?
Yeah.
No.
No.
If it is trying to hide by creating same static method, then what I'm getting?
Error.
No error.
Error. That's the answer. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So if you create a static method in child class which is matching with the signature of the static method in parent class, you know, this concept name is called method hiding. So how can I prevent method hiding even?
Use the final keyword.
Yes, that's it. You are correct. That's it. I want to come back to my notes. So far we discussed about example for static final variable. Now I would like to write example for final method first of all. I'll take my example like this. I'm talking about example by example. My first example is related to it is called instance variable. My second example is related to the static variable final. And now my third example will be for instance method. And my fourth example will be for static method. Then I will write class. Did you agree with all these points? Okay. Example by example. Let's see. Let's have a question. I have a class like this class. Let's say order. Let's have a class called order. I have a method like this. Okay. Let's say my method is public and let's say void is return type. Let's say process order. I can't write the logic for this, but I can explain. Okay. Public void process order, and here I won't write something like something basically, yeah. Public void, what is the method name? Process order, right? Process order, and it has something called the logic is first validate the order, validate the order, and payment processing. Just I'm writing steps. The first step could be validating the order. Second step could be processing the payment, and the third step could be let's say deliver the order. Guys, please understand. I have not given as final. I'm going to give it. Okay, just please try to understand. Okay. There is one more class called as let's say class. I have a priority order, which extends order. I have a question to you. Can I override this method process order? Can I override this method process order method? Can I override?
Yes.
Yes,
Everybody?
sir. We can
Yes, why not? Yes, we can. You are correct. Yes, we can. Why can't we? We can override. We can override because just it's a method in parent class, and that too is a public method. We can override. If it is a private method, then we can't. But it's a public method, so obviously we can override. Why not? Am I sure?
Yes.
Okay. So, guys, my requirement is what? Whether it is a priority order, or let's say it's a standard order. But order processing will be having same steps now. Did you get my point? Order processing will be done using same steps, right?
Yes.
Yes, it never change. And I don't want to allow the priority order class to change the what we can say I don't want to allow to redefine this method, because whether it is a priority order or it's a standard order, but order processing will be having same steps. Maybe priority order will get same day delivery, and standard order may get another 2 days to get delivery. But and for standard priority order may be charged more, and standard order may be charged less. That's okay. But I mean to say that the process is same process, right? First it should be validated, then it should collect the payment, then deliver the order. Did you get my point?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Cool. Am I clear with you, folks in online? Did you agree with me?
Yes.
Online folks, did you
Yes,
agree
sir.
with me?
Yes,
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So can I make this method as final so that I don't want to allow the child classes to override it?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, here some other things are there. I'm not writing about variables and methods. It has some variables, it has some methods. I'm because it's a class. So it's a unit. This class is one unit. So where we have some variables and where we have some methods. Okay. Next, I have something called class. Let's say I have something called standard order, which extends order. Am I good with you?
Mhm.
So can I override this method in either in priority order or in my standard order in both the classes? Can I override this method called the process order?
See order,
No.
process order or priority order, which method?
Process.
Right, sir.
It's a class, right? Priority order is a class, process order is a method. Both are different.
No, sir. No, we cannot override. Final will be used. No?
Yes. That's why I'm declaring as final. That's what I'm saying. Do you know why I'm creating this as final method?
We cannot
Why I'm
override.
creating this method as final method?
We no need
Because I
to
don't want to allow the child classes to override this method
Method.
or redefine this method. Overriding means redefining only, na?
Yes.
Yes. Means what? This is fixed. This is fixed
Yes.
for processing any order, whether it's a priority order or a standard order, but this process is fixed. So I don't want to allow to redefine the process.
Hmm.
That's why I'm creating it as what?
Final.
Final. Yes. Are you good with my example now? Did you understand my example clearly?
Yes.
Okay. Sure. I will write the point here. I'll write the point here, guys. Okay. I'll write the point. Everybody. So the point is, the point which I want to write here is that, yes. So, in this example, we have declared process order method. We have declared process order method as final in the parent class. Okay. I'll tell you the reason. Because we don't want to allow. Because we don't want to allow to redefine or override. Redefine or override. Both are same, but redefine is a better word. So we don't want to allow to redefine this method in the child classes. Did you understand my example, guys? Next. So I'll just put something like a kind of separator so that you guys can able to identify. Okay. You know, the first example is for instance variable, final variable. Okay. Instance variable, final, account number. This below example, this is for static final. Today we discussed static final variable. And now this is final method. Now next example is for instance method, static method. Again, we'll let example. Let me keep this example in the next. I've explained just now, but I would like to write the example. Do you know when to create static methods, guys? Are you sure when to create instance method or non-static method and when to create static method?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Could you tell me when do you create a non-static method and when do you create a static method? Could you tell me, guys, when do you create instance method, non-static method, and when do you create static method? Could you tell me some answer for this question? I think I'm audible to you.
If we don't want to make any changes, then we create static. If we want to make changes, then we can go for non-static. Using final, sorry.
No, I'm talking about simply static and instance method. When do you create a non-static method, which is called instance method? I'm just using the word non-static so that we are in sync with static word. When do you create non-static method? When do you create static method? That's a question. Okay, I even told today also the same the answer for the same question. I think I just want to know from you once again, have you captured this point or not? When do you create the non-static methods? And when do you create static methods? That's the question. Okay, so please try to listen to this video for one more time and try to find answer and try to tell me in the next session. Okay, just I want to continue now. What's my requirement? I would like to, yes, cool. Yes, Suja. Yes. You're correct, but please try to reconstruct your statements. Once after this session, please go through this video for one more time and try to check it. I just want to go ahead. We are in example. Yes, we are in example. And my example is, the next example is, I would like to talk about something called as, what is that? Static final method. So yes, let's write example. Just like normal example only. Normally, if you create a static method, we can't override it, but we can apply the concept of method hiding. But if you make it as a static final, then obviously we cannot, child classes cannot, what we can call, the child classes cannot hide that method. That's what the intention, right? So just let me add a simple class, okay? Let's say I have a class called public class discount or discount utils. It's my class. I'm writing one class, public class discount utils. Folks, then I want to get a static method here and I want to make it as final. Say, let's say public static final return type is double. Then I say something called calculate the discount for the given price. Calculate discount with the double price and the double discount rate. See, I have a method like this. I have a class called what? Discount utils. In this class, I have a variable called calculate discount. Sorry, I have a method called calculate discount, which is a static method and final method. I do not want to even hide this method in the child class also. Suppose if any child class is created, okay? And it's fixed definition. I do not want to hide this method. So I am declaring as static and final. So here I'm just writing some logic. Logic would be discount rate should be something like that, like 0 to 1. And if it is not, then throw exception. If it is yes, then return the price into 1 minus discount rate. Something, guys. I'm not going to define the logic or whatever, but something like this I'm writing. Some method it is, some logic. Otherwise, you can write return simple statement, return price into 1 minus discount rate. Some logic is there, then here's the method. Okay, this is one static final method example I'm writing, and I want to write my point here. What's the point I want to write is, if you create a static method in parent class, we can't override it in the child class. If you create a static method in parent class, we can't override it in the child class. Please understand. But we can hide the definition of the parent class, or we can hide the parent definition. But we can hide the parent definition. Am I clear with you? If you create a static method in parent class, we can't override it in the child class, but we can hide the parent definition.
Parent method definition.
Parent method or parent class method definition, whatever it is. We can hide the parent definition. Parent class method definition. Okay. If you don't want a child class to hide the static method definition of parent class,
User final.
then you can declare it as final. Did you get my point, guys? This is the one point which is basically a bit, maybe it's like confusing or whatever, but it is the example for this. Please go through this video one. Next, because we are still discussing about, we want to discuss about the next example for this. So far I have explained about what, guys? Instance variables. Final keyword could be used with instance variable, static variable, instance method, and static method. What's the next one, guys? Class. Yes, we can get final class. Final means fixed, right? Guys, do you agree with me? Final means fixed. I mean, it's like a kind of constant, right?
Yes.
Yes. So, guys, what I'm trying to say is, now we can also, suppose if I say that in my class, all the methods are final methods. Suppose, which means what?
We can't override.
The method, that methods we cannot override in the child class. Nothing but whatever the definitions I have, all my variables and all my methods, they have all fixed values and fixed definitions. Nothing but I can make my class as a fixed class. Am I right or not?
Mm-hmm.
So, which is nothing but what I can make my class as final. So the thing is, whatever I have in my class, see, whatever are there in my class, it could be like variables or it could be like methods. If I feel that they are all fixed and I don't want to allow the child classes to override them. Am I clear with you? So instead of making all my methods final, instead of making all my methods as final, what can I do? I can simply write my class as final.
Yes.
So if I write a class as final, then what does it mean?
We can't extend or reuse the properties.
Yeah, if I create any class as a final, then you cannot extend that class because it's a finalized, it's fixed. So you cannot extend it, and you cannot override the methods of the class. That's where we are going to, yes. That's where we are going to write class as final. For example, there are many final classes are there in Java. For example, string class is there. So can you create a child class for a string class? Because every day we are using strings.
No, sir.
No, right?
No.
So we cannot create a subclass, right? Final classes cannot be subclassed.
Yeah.
Okay. Suppose if I don't want to, if I don't want to allow the child classes to override the implementations of my parent class through inheritance, then I can go for my class as final. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yes, sir.
Am I clear with you guys?
Yes.
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 Good. So then we can declare the class as final. So string is what class, guys? String is a final class. Can you create a child class? Can you create a child class or subclass for string? No, we can't. No, we cannot. Okay. Instead of making all the methods as final, simply I can make the class as final. That's what the point I'm saying here.
Yes.
Yeah. So this is a general example. So what I'm trying to say here is, now we are talking about final class. Let's say, yeah. Okay, guys. I have a class like this. I mean, some class I'm taking, just it's there in my mind that I want to use a class like something like message processor. Some class is there with me, right? Which is called message processor. One class is there. So I don't want to allow any child classes to be created for my message processor. Inside my message processor, I have some methods, and those methods, of course, I don't want to allow child classes to redefine the logic of the methods in my parent class. Means I don't want to create child class for it, first of all. So how can I prevent creating child classes for a class now? Then the only way is I can make that class as final. Did you agree with me?
Yes.
Yes. So if you make any class as final, we cannot create a child class of it.
Yes.
Okay. So I would like to say that what I have a class called message processor, which is going to process the messages. When the messages are coming one by one, it is just going to process them. Okay. The messages are coming into, for example, there is a queue of messages. It will take one by one message from queue and it will do the processing. But I don't want to allow any child class for this class. So then I can make it as final. So for example, I'm writing public final class name. For example, message processor. I have a class called message processor, which is basically what? Final class. Final class means it cannot be extended or it cannot be subclassed. We cannot able to create a child class of it through inheritance. That's where I'm going to create this class as final class. Am I clear with you? So there is a class called message processor, and say for example, I have a method called public. I can have variables also. For example, private string message and public void. Okay, void send message. And there is some logic here. Don't worry about the logic. And there is another method called something like receive message. Guys, did you understood my example here? I have created one class like this. What is my requirement, guys? What is my requirement? My requirement is what? I don't want to allow to create any child classes for this class in my project through inheritance. Then tell me, means what? Whatever the logic I defined to send the message and to receive the message, this is final. What can I do? I can make it as final method. I can make this method also as final. Instead of making all the methods as final, I can simply make my class as final. Did you get my point?
Yes.
Yes. So guys, if you make any class as final, then can we create any child class for it now?
No.
No. Definitely no. So what's the point I'm writing here? So if you declare any class as final, so we cannot create any child class of it. That's what I'm trying to say. Right? So we can basically say there is a word called what I can say that immutability. I think you have the word like this in strings. I told you about the concept of immutability. Did you get my point, guys? Everybody? Did you get my point? Right? Do you know this concept name as immutability? We have used a word called immutable. String is immutable. Yeah, very good. So that kind of, if I want to maintain immutability, nothing but I do not want to child classes of it. That's why we are just declaring it as final. That's what I'm trying to say, guys. So I want to say something like this. If you don't want to allow creating subclasses mean child classes only, no? If you don't want to allow creating subclasses for a class through inheritance, of course we get child classes in inheritance only. Just I'm writing the word like that. Through inheritance. Okay, if you don't want to allow creating subclasses for a class through inheritance, okay, if you don't want to allow creating subclasses for a class through inheritance, then you just declare this final. Then you create a class as final. There is a specific reason. This is the only reason for this. Okay. So for final, we cannot create any child classes for a final class. Even I will let, for example, java.lang.string. I'm writing fully qualified name. Java.lang.string class is a final class. So we can't create a child class of it. What about string buffer and string builder, guys? These classes are there in Java, right? We have discussed it already. We have what is that? String buffer class is there, and we have string builder class is there. Do you know that? Good. They are also final classes. That's what I'm saying. Just simply what I'm saying is they are also called final classes. So we can't create a child class for string buffer, or even we can't create a child class for string builder class also, because they are also they are all final classes. So we cannot create a child class. That's what I'm saying. Okay, I'm writing example as a string, but you remember string buffer, string builder, they are also final classes. Okay, cool, guys. So we have discussed about so far. Okay, guys. So far, what we discussed so far, we have discussed about all these things like almost everything. There is a local variable that is also final. Okay, I'll explain about that point in the next session. One small point related to that. Okay, almost we have discussed about everything. The only modifier I told you we can use with the local variable is a final. We can also create a local variable as a final. Generally, the thing is, if you declare any local variable as a final, which means that within that method, you don't want allowed to change the value of it for a local variable also. That's where we have something called as a final local variable. Okay, I'll give an example for this also in the session next. But almost we did with the concept of final. Am I clear with you? So next, once we got about final local variable as a final, otherwise it's a question to you. Otherwise it's a kind of assignment to you. please try to tell me tomorrow when we create a local variable as a final variable. This is a question to you guys. Okay, please try to think on this and come up with this example like creating the local variable as a final variable. Please, okay, I'm not asking today itself. Please go through it, try to find the correct reason and correct example, and go tell me that in the next session. That is the session for today. And tomorrow I will share the notes now. Tomorrow we are going to start with the abstraction, nothing but the implementation of abstraction in Java through abstract classes and interfaces. That's what we are actually going to discuss tomorrow. Am I clear with you?
Yes, sir. Sir, final keyword will be used to create the custom immutable classes also now.
Okay, that I'll talk about. That's what I used a word called immutability today. Actually, I'll give a question like how to create a immutable class in Java.
Okay.
We know we are calling a string is immutable.
Yes, sir.
Okay, you know that the thing, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, string is an immutable class. Like that, we can also create immutable classes in Java. Further, there are certain criteria, conditions are there.
Yes, sir.
So at that time, I'll talk about that. Don't worry. Currently, my explanation is restricted to creating child classes. I don't want Yellow to create child classes for my parent class. So then I should make it as final. Okay, cool. So here we'll end up the session for today, and we will continue further tomorrow, guys.